Hey, Canucks fans, now that more than 24 hours have passed since the announcement of the big trade of Bo Horvat to the Islanders, now that things have settled down a little bit, what do you think of this trade? I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, January the 31st. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Tonight, 11 p.m., my nightly show right here on YouTube. I hope you'll join me. We'll continue to talk about this topic, of course. And I want to thank you, anyone who joined me for either my show with Parker, Canucks After Dark, our biggest audience ever, and then I had my own show after that, where as a surprise guest, I had the lovely Owls Girl 3, Kim from New York, who came on and shared her perspective on Anthony Beauvillier and on Aatu Raty. So it was a wonderful surprise, and it was great that she spent 20 minutes with me on my show last night. So thanks if you watched either or both of those shows. Now that it's been about 26 hours since the announcement of the trade, and more things have come out, in particular interviews with Bo Horvat, interviews with Patrick Alvin. We had Anthony Beauvillier and Aatu Raty meeting the Canucks media today. We've had reports that the Canucks actually had other offers that they could consider, but they locked in on the Islanders one. So many moving pieces. Then there's the ironies of how Lou Lamoriello trades for Horvat after trading his rights away back in 2013 when Lou Lamoriello was part of the New Jersey Devils. Then there's the whole thing about how Trevor Linden, a longstanding captain, was traded to the Islanders back in 1998 when a new guy came in, Mark Messier back then, JT Miller here a little bit, and then how the Canucks got three assets back in 98, and they got three assets back. So it's kind of cool, those kind of ironies as well. So considering all those things, I'm asking you, Canucks fan, how do you feel about this trade now that you've had a chance to sleep on it? I am in the same position that I was yesterday. I don't love this trade, but I like this trade. And I did a poll on my YouTube account on my show last night, and it was like 56 to 43 were like and love it, or 43 was dislike or hate it. So it was close, but it's 56-43, and I'll put myself in the 56. I like this trade considering that Bo Horvat, there's no guarantee that he signs with the Islanders after this season. Actually, there's no guarantee that he'll be with the Islanders even past the trade deadline, depending on what they decide to do. But the key to me is, given that Horvat could be a rental for the Islanders, you could argue that the Islanders gave up a lot for a rental. And if logic would dictate, then if the Islanders gave up a lot and we're the team that they traded with, that means we got a lot for a rental. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, we don't talk about Bo Horvat as part of this. By the way, have you noticed that not just me, when anyone says Bo Horvat's name really quickly, it becomes Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat is just, I don't know, something about the English language, that H goes at the end of that R goes at the end of the BO. So Bo Horvat, we don't have to talk about him and his accomplishments. I did that a lot yesterday. I'll continue to do that tonight. Let's talk about the three pieces that we got back in this trade. And that's why I'm saying that we did quite well. Number one, Anthony Beauvillier, 25-year-old left winger, can play power play, can play penalty kill. As Kim said to us on our stream last night, he hustles, he works hard. Not the best defensive player ever, but when you take what Kim says in that, he's a good team player, and he has great effort every night. That's what Kim said. And that's kind of what Anthony Beauvillier said this morning too to Canucks media, is that when he's moving his feet, when he's working hard, that he can be an effective player. So a 0.4 points per game, 0.45 points per game player in his career. Let's see if he can bump that up a little bit, playing with guys like, I slot him in with Garland and Miller on the second line. I have PD with Kuzmenko and Besser on my top line, now that Horvat, Mikheyev, and Pearson are all out. So that's Anthony Beauvillier. One more year left after this season, $4.1 million salary. So Canucks could actually flip him at the end of next season if they wanted to. Aatu Raty, 52nd overall pick in the 2021 draft. Some even pegged him as the top 5, top 3, even top pick prior to his poor season in Finland prior to that. Gets drafted, then has a really strong World Juniors in the next summer, in the summer of basically August 2022, which was delayed from December 2021. But then prior to that, he had a really good season playing in the Finnish league after he switched teams as a point per game player in the Finnish league, men's league, And then this season, he played in 12 games for the Islanders, notching 2 goals. And there was basically a 0.5 point per game player with the Islanders farm team. I've read a lot about Raty since the trade, and a lot of people are saying this one could be a real difference maker if he turns out. If he turns out to be a second line center, that's good. That's kind of what Horvat was, although he's producing at a first line clip this season. But if Raty can become a second or even a third line center, but solid down the road, then I think there's potential for this player. Big body, not afraid to go to the net, as Kim told us last night. Got good hands, got a really strong release. Still needs to work on his skating, and that's something that Raty mentioned this morning, that's one thing he needs to work on, but glad to see that self-awareness. But he's only 20 years old, and that's the thing. So he's in his first year right now, so we still have 2 years of him on his ELC, and then he'll have an RFA contract or 2 even before he gets to unrestricted free agency. So this is a player that we're basically getting at the very start of his career, and I'm excited about Raty, what he can turn out to be. And then you have this draft pick. It's protected top 12, meaning if the Islanders end up picking the top 12 this year, they can keep their pick. They have the option to keep their pick. Obviously, they will if it's top 12 in a very deep draft. And if that's the case, then we get the 2024 Islanders draft pick in the first round, no matter where it is, first all the way down to 32nd. So in a perfect world, the Islanders stink this year, so they're in the top 12, and they don't give it to us. And then they stink even worse next year, and then we'll get maybe a top 5 or a lottery pick. So that's kind of like the dream. I'm not wishing ill will on Bo and his new team, but you can see where I'm going. If they do make the playoffs, then that draft pick is going to be in the bottom 16, somewhere from 17 to 32. And then, yeah, they'll likely give it to the Canucks this season. No, they have to give it to the Canucks this season because it doesn't finish in the top 12. And this is still a deep draft, and you can always package your later draft pick with your earlier draft pick. Right now, the Canucks are slated to pick 6 before the lottery. So there's a lot of combinations, a lot of options for sure. But this, I think, is as much as Raty is kind of like the really intriguing part, I think this is the most intriguing part, because this could very well end up being a lottery pick in 2024, depending on how the Islanders do next season. Yes, the Vancouver Canucks retain 25% of Horvat's salary, but that's only for the last third of the season. And with all the money they have going out on LTIR and stuff, they're not in a cap crunch this season. They're going to be a cap crunch next year. That's why they had to make this Horvat trade. So you throw in all those things and the fact that Horvat may not even sign with the Islanders past this summer, I actually think the return for the Vancouver Canucks was good. Not amazing, not outstanding, but it was good. A solid NHLer, a middle 6 guy in Beauvillier, to potentially a 2C in Aatu Raty, and then who knows, maybe even a lottery pick or top 5 or top 10 pick from the New York Islanders in the 2024 draft. So there we go, Canucks fans. There's a quick take for you. By the way, Bo Horvat's taking number 14 in New York because Kosticius, or I don't know how to say his name, he already has 53, and he's worn that for many years. I know his first name's Casey, so I'll just call him Casey. Casey wears number 53 for the Islanders, so Horvat will take number 14. Not sure about the significance, but I'm sure we'll hear about that soon. Canucks fans, let me know what you think about this trade now that we've had a night to sleep on it. Do you agree with me that this is a good trade for the Canucks, or do you think I'm being way too easy or even somehow way too harsh? Let me know in the comment section. I love to read, react, and reply as always. And don't forget, I have a show tonight at 11 p.m. I hope to see you there. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members, and thanks to all of you. I always appreciate you, never take you for granted. So subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, become a member, upgrade your membership, and don't forget, I'm going to have my 9,700 subscriber celebration on Thursday night this week, so make plans to join me then as well. Okay, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. See you tonight at 11 p.m. God bless, and go Canucks go.